Welcome to GameChanger 00100 channel. Please hit the like button, subscribe.
Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I'm your host, GameChanger. Okay, so normally don't do this many a day, but I'm gonna try to do more because a lot of stuff. There are a lot of shows that I want to do that I never get around to doing. So I'm gonna try to work on that. And besides things, well, there's other reasons why I want to do that. Let's just put it like that. But seeing this on Pink Book's lessons, and I was like, oh, I really got to give my own take on this. This was actually kind of funny, weird, and sad all at the same time. I was like, oh, wow, I got to see the full video of this to see the context, to see exactly what happened. And in doing that, I said, why not just watch it with you all? So I seen the Pink Book lessons edited version, and I'm gonna watch the whole thing with y'all. So a lot of this, it's kind of like I seen the trailer, but I didn't see the movie type deal. So this is me watching with y'all my whole take on what we're about to show. So let's see. Here we go. Hit that like button when you come in, and if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Actually, let me. Okay, sharing audio. All right, perfect.
A Spanish woman, they're raised to be a wife.
But why isn't a black woman raised that way?
Most black women are raised to be independent.
Okay. I like inner titty, the inside of the breast. I like it when you see the inside of the titty. I would argue that that is my favorite non-nipple part of the titty to see. Why does she ask? Why is that? She asked as if she wasn't raised as a black woman. And she asks as if she's not going to or haven't already in the process of raising a black girl. That is something that you ask a black woman. Why are you asking this man, why aren't black women raised in this particular way? Hit the like button.
Remember, let's be real. Most black women are raised to be strong, tough, independent, and don't take no shit. Because the daddy wasn't shit. I raised you alone by myself. Be a strong black woman.
Why do you think that it's such an issue that a lot more black men are dating Latino women?
You know what's funny? I know where it started from because, back then, like in the 80s, the Spanish community, they didn't want their daughters dating black men. And for a long time, they told their daughter, don't date black men. So when the money came in the 80s and things got better, black men were able to sway the parents and get the girl. So we kind of like turn into like a trophy.
Now that's interesting. I don't know where this guy is from. I didn't sense that. And granted, there's different type of Latins, and he might not be talking about Mexican, which was the Latin of choice. That was the go-to Latin here in California, but I didn't notice that at all. Like, we played like granted I was a kid. I wasn't dating or anything. But in the 80s, we played with the Latin kids and we played with everybody. Like I didn't get a sense that coming from their community or really any community, like don't mess with the black boys. Like I didn't get that at all. Went to their house and kicked it. Like yeah. Yeah. I mean, trust me, Melody says New York. Okay. Yeah, they're different. And also, from what I understand of Dominicans, they have a different definition of black. Their definition of black means Haitian. And because of the, let's just say, the geographics of their country and the history, there is a there when it comes to the relationship between Dominican and Haitians, which maybe they came and they just looked at black people the way they looked at Haitians in their home island country. Who knows? I'm just saying that in the 80s, I didn't sense that from Mexicans.
Thing like, yo, I'm dating a mommy, or I'm dating a Colombian, like something that's foreign or exotic. So I kind of feel as though, like, when even me in high school, if you didn't have no money, the Spanish girls didn't date you. So it's kind of like when you had a Spanish girl, finally, it was a big deal to you. So I kind of feel as though, like, it comes.
Okay, that's weird. That is new to me, and that's because nobody had no money in high school. I mean, some can say the D boys did, but even they had money, like they were kid rich, they were high school rich. Nobody had like money to where a woman could say, oh, a woman could just like exercise full hypergamy. You know, none of us had adult money.
Comes from the 80s, when the black man was getting that money, buying cars, diamonds, all the gold, and the mommies wanted a part of that shit. And eventually it turned to having like a trophy, like, yo, I got a Dominican or Colombian or Brazilian. So that's where it comes from. It's a fascination. And if you peep game, most black girls don't really have a good story about their fathers, which is sad. So, most black women, when they grow up, they're not angry, they're aggressive because they have to be a little more, protective over their hearts, and they're aggressive. But meanwhile, the Spanish woman, when they see a black man, to them, it's kind of like their trophy. So it's kind of like the black woman, some of them do love us still, but some of us are tired of our shit. But the Boricua or the Colombian or Dominican kind of see us as brand new. They don't kind of equate that baggage with not having a father in my life.
Okay. I gotta say, I'm really confused by this guy. And maybe some of you East Coast people can help me out, but why is he talking like this? Like, one instance, he's referring to black men as something separate from himself. Like, he'll say something like, the Latin women were taught not to date black men. And later he's saying like us and we. I mean, he's obviously like, an Afro Latina of some sort, just judging by his accent and his appearance, which means that he's both. But is he confused by that? Because one instance he's black, he's like, us, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, us, we, and then he says, the black men as a separate thing. I don't know. I'm trying to like zero in on this guy's way of thinking. Okay, so he's a black Dominican, but like, why is he talking like that? Do they all talk like that? And this isn't me stereotyping them or really poking fun. I'm just like, what? He's confusing me. Like, do they all be like that?
With the black man stigma. To them, we're brand new.
Holiday. What do you think?
What do I think about?
Why do you think why so many black men date Latina women?
I think a lot of black men date Latina women because I'm gonna have to agree with Guapo. It's something new. It's out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? So when you associate, if I can reverse it, you know what I'm saying? Why black women, we love our black men. At the end of the day, no matter how much I try to dance around it, you still end up with a black man. But women like to date outside our race because we do compartmentalize with the fact that a black man broke our heart. A black man did me dirty. A black man's my baby daddy, and he ain't.
I think she misused the word compartmentalize. I think she did, but boobies. Okay.
Shit. You know what I'm saying? My daddy, you're a black man, he left me, or whatever the case may be. And so just referring it back to men, it's the same thing. They want something different. They want something out of the ordinary. So even if she wasn't Spanish and he's dating the typical girl who doesn't comply or isn't submissive, and he ends up getting with a girl who is, he's gonna like her more because it's not the ordinary. It's not what he deals with every day. You understand what I'm saying? So I just think men, they're natural hunters. They're naturally out for the hunt. And so why would I go into the jungle and hunt for something that I catch every day? I can go easily like a bear. A bear can easily go in the water and catch his fish, right? But outside of that, when he goes and does get certain type of meats, he went out of his way to kill that prey.
You don't feel any kind of way about it.
Okay. She's well intended, but I think her understanding of the men is a little off. It's a little off as far as the hunter aspect goes. And this just is dealing with the history of men, both modern and past men. Hunter-gatherers hunted and gathered until they found a different way. Once they found a different way, that was it. That was it. No more like, okay, I'm going to use a spear and I'm going to like risk getting bitten by the saber-toothed tiger. That was it. Once they became an agricultural society, that was the end of that crap. Like, yeah, they did it recreationally, but they did not do it as a necessity. And the reason for this is because humankind seeks comfort. We seek ease of accessibility. Mankind do. Women are a little different in that regard. They seek the company of others more than anything. You know, we seek efficiency in our dealings and obtaining resources, and women are included in that. We seek this efficiency. Like for those of them, for the people who lived in times of slavery, you know, whether it's American slavery or Roman slavery or Chinese, Mongolian slavery or what have you, you know, in places where this exists, they just kind of like bought the chick and went to work. Nobody said, okay, I bought you. Now I want you to just go out and run. I just want you to go out and run in the field or something. So, you know, or I want you to scratch me, bite me, and no, they like, listen, I got it, and I have it. There wasn't any like strong desire to hunt. We hunt when we have to. We hunt out of necessity. We don't actually prefer that crap over just having farm to table or farm to fork. We prefer farm to fork. You go to any of those tribes where they still hunt, which is still very few. Like even like the even like Bushmen and stuff, they farm. Rudimentary, but they farm nonetheless. Even then, you know, even there is a seeking of comfort. So this whole thrill of the chase, and they get this stuff from people like Derek Jackson, Trill, you know, Mr. Let Go. They get stuff like this from these sources like, oh yeah, we like to hunt. So if you play hard to get, no, you know, I mean, granted, if we want a woman, you know, enough, we would hunt. But like if I turn around, my bed is, if I turn around, my bed is out the hall and second door on the left. Or yeah, left. If I just opened the door and I found out that Kelly Stamps snuck in the window and she was just laying there looking all Kelly Stampish, I'm not gonna say, I'd rather hunt. I'm going to be like, oh, this is a great deal. This is exactly what I wanted to happen right now. I am grateful that this thing that I wanted to happen happened. I'm not gonna say, oh no, no, no. I wanted to hunt for you. I wanted to look you up, and I wanted to slide into your DMs through all the other guys, and I wanted you to sift through and pick my picture, and then fly from New York or wherever you are. You know, I wanted to game you. I wanted to spend. It would like to do something like that. I would guess it would have to take like maybe 100 hours of me just being my comedic, charismatic self in her ear in order to make that happen. I would rather not. I would rather she just happen to be there the next time I go to my bedroom. Just saying. That's ridiculous. Exactly, Kevin. This explains the rise of DoorDash and Uber Eats. Nobody's trying to hunt.
As a black woman,
I'm gonna tell you this as a black woman. No, yes and no, and I'm gonna say yes more than no because I feel like this. I'm beautiful. I It does bother me when I meet men who are black who say to me, "You're pretty for a black woman." Mm-hmm.
They never say that ever, 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 ever. They never say that. They get on my nerves when they say that we say that. They get on my nerves when they say that we say that. No man has ever walked up to your titties and said that to you ever. Stop with the cap. They never say that ever. Exactly. Nobody has ever heard them say that. That's just something black women say that they heard black men say. It's kind of like if an old white person say, yeah, I was robbed by a black man, and he just came up to me and said, hey, jive turkey, I want you to give me that bread. It's like, yeah, black people haven't talked like that and since like 1972. You are making this up. That no one said that to you ever in your whole damn life. Has a black man came to you, and I don't care where. No, in my hood, no one nowhere ever has said that ever. Exactly. Hey, sucker, give me that pocketbook. Like, no, no, what the hell? It sounds ridiculous. Why do they think that men are talking like that, and we're going to believe you? We're going to believe you knowing that we know nobody. We all have black friends. We know nobody, nor do we ever talk like that ever. Who says that to a woman they want to smash? Who says that to a woman that they want to smash? Who what kind of backhanded compliment is that? Yeah, you look pretty for a black girl. What kind of crap is that? That's like me going on a job interview and saying, "Hey, you're tall for an Asian guy." Like, what the fuck? Nobody talks like that ever. So now I was giving you the benefit of the doubt because of titties. But now I know that you're full of crap. Can you dig it? Yeah, exactly. Now I know that you're full of crap. And I will treat you accordingly.
What does that mean? Or ask me, what do you mix with? When I look in the mirror, I see a brown skinned woman. I see a black woman that by no mistake could you even mistake me for anything else but African American. But to the society that we live in, because my eyes slant a little bit or whatever the association is, the straight hair, I don't know what it is, the weave, the lace is laying right that day, the curly bundles is extra curly. You associate me with, well, she has to be mixed with something because she's pretty. Because in your mind,
She has to be mixed with something because she's pretty. Wow. First of all, yes, I would smash. I would smash, in spite of her personality. So let's get that out the way. You can see her inner titties, and I'm gonna be honest. Her titties aren't up. Like I do like them upper. Like she should have like brought it up some. Like she should have changed the up settings in her bra or something, or wore one. Nevertheless, I would smash. Lost my train of thought. Let me go back. Titties do that to me. But let me go back some.
I slant a little bit or whatever the association is, the straight hair.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. So she is very comfortable self-complimenting. She is very comfortable self-complimenting.
I don't know what it is. The weave, the lace is laying right that day. The curly bundles is extra curly. You associate me with, well, she has to be mixed with something because she's pretty. Because in your mind, you've been to these countries and you've been these places, and all you've experienced is the beauty of the women there. Because you're not in Brooklyn no more, and you're not in Jersey no more, and you're not in your state anymore. It's something new. So now you meet a black woman who's actually very attractive, and not to take anything away from our black women, but we subject ourselves to the commentary sometimes. I'm going to take full responsibility for us and say, you have a choice as a black woman. Either you want to continue to follow the stigma and be a part of that stigma, or you can set yourself aside and say, okay, hey, as a black woman, I already know that you already expect me to come in here and be loud and ghetto. I'm not going to be that girl. I'm going to be something different. And I think we'll get a different response from our men.
How different are you? Like physical appearance wise. You know, I mean, yes, don't get me wrong, I would smash, but let's be clear, you know, you are makeup to the T, you know, you are hair done at it, you know, you are weaved up to the T, you know, so yeah, like how you have the same, and I wish black people would do this more. We conform too much, both the men and the women. And that's why I had that whole beard conversation with Bernard the other day. Hit the like button. We conform way too much. And she is conforming. Now, she may hit you with the interview voice or something like that, and you're supposed to, but she even sound like New York chicks. You know, I mean, shout out to Sweet Melody Speaks, who's from Jersey, and she sounds like a woman, but New York chicks, the way y'all sound is kind of like a Italian Dominican mixed accent combined with a masculine overtone. It's okay, but I don't it's not I like Sweet Melody Speaks voice, but it's not ideal. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. What they do in Mississippi is just, you know, girl, child, that is the worst thing ever. I hear that and I run. I run. I smell chitlins when I hear some crap like that. But all right, let me stop. Let me stop going off into tangents.
Rolla, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
This chick did not try at all. She did not try at all. So the chick that they just left, right? The black chick. She tried too much. Like her nails is just like her nails is and this is a compliment. And this isn't like a for a black woman compliment. This is an actual compliment. I like her nails. Because they're not talons, they're not claws, they're not the stuff that that you feel on your dick when she's sucking it, and she can't help but to put the nails on it when she holds the shaft. I can't stand that. I can't stand it when it's too long, that it gets in the way of everything. It's not that long, but it's still bedazzling. It's still bedazzling, and it's long enough to scratch my back. So she did go all out. And in contrast, the Latina chick
loud and ghetto. I'm
didn't
not
do
gonna be
anything.
that girl. I'm going to be something different. And I think we'll get a different response from our men.
Lola, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. As you're a Latino woman.
Okay. Even though all things are not equal, the black chick is hotter, in my opinion. And it could be because I like inner boobs. Droopy or not.
Okay. Do you date black men?
I do.
You
I
do
love
or you
them.
don't?
I do.
Okay.
That's all I date.
Why do you prefer to date black men?
Oh, it's just the brown skin, the way that they actually treat women is differently than Latino men. They actually, well, the black men that I've dated before, they respect you, their background and their way of treating their mom and their family is different than Latino men. Latino men don't give a fuck about what they fucking do to you. And if you find out that if they have a side bitch or whatever, I believe the black men that I've dated, they're more respectful. Their wife is their wife. Untouchable. You understand? So for me, it's something different. I love black men, so
Hold on. You're pausing. Hold on for 1 second.
Now, what she's saying is not uncommon. There is a physical and cultural attraction that Latino women do have towards black men. And I'm not saying this as a play or anything, like I just go out smashing a bunch of Latina chicks or anything like that. I don't want to come off with that energy, but there is a definite cultural and physical attraction that Latino women have towards black men, and there is a physical attraction that other races of women have towards black men. But it's really like the overwhelming abundance of ignorance and niggatry that pushes them away. We could talk about that on a later date, but nevertheless, there is a there. Like, I have a friend, and his ex Latina girl is from SoCal. And like many Latinos, she has Latinas, excuse me. She has a lot of sisters, cousins, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, from the Los Angeles area. And they're all married to black men. Like, all of them. It's ridiculous. Like, and that's just, and of course she was dating a black man at the time, obviously. That just seemed like something that they do. They are not really hesitant to make the first move if they are attracted to a particular black man. And there's definitely a there. And once again, and I know, and maybe there was a time when this is okay. Niggatry does not earn you much, if any, points with other races of women. In fact, it just downright repulses them. Once you make it clear that you're separate from that, you may close some doors, to those Black American women who actually like niggatry. However, you do open your door to a much broader group of women who don't. Just saying. And that does include Latin women who wants a man that's grounded with the physical attributes that they so desire, and that is a they're talking about the black skin and all that stuff. Yeah. All right. Somebody says there are too many raggedy females for that to be. Do you really? Okay. Okay. Let's put this out there, because I hear y'all complain too much about Pookie. Do y'all really want raggedy females? Like, I don't get. Do you really want raggities so much that you like you see Pookie or Ray Ray with a raggedy chick and you're like, oh, that could be me. I don't really want raggedy that much. And besides, even Raggedy, if she's into you, even Raggedy ones who was with Pookie Ray Ray yesterday, they would mess with you if they into you, just because like take this chick here. She'll talk to, right now she's using her interview voice. This is the voice that they use when they date me. You know, like I got a feeling that she talked completely different yesterday. But today, she's talking this way. So it's, I don't know. I don't really look at it that way. This dude's name is Black Americans Wish They Were Brazilians. Brazilians are Black Americans. All right.
That goes back to what me and just Guapo just said. Her experience with the black man is this amazing. I'm not discrediting our black men. I love y'all. I love y'all brown skin too. I love your dark.
Everything before the word but is BS. Shout out to Eddard Stark. Everything before the word but is BS. Let's see what she's about to say.
And I love the milk chocolate, the vanilla chocolate. I love it all.
Yo. Come on, we filming. It's common courtesy. I'm sorry.
It just goes back to what Guapo and I said. Her experience. I'm not going to belittle our black men. I love the milk chocolate, the dark chocolate, the brown chocolate, all the melanin. But if I have to think about what I think when I see a black man off the rip, isn't always the most positive. Mm-hmm. So your experience with a black man is a great one. Yeah. Your experience with the Latino man is a different one. Yeah. If I have to interject and say my experience with a Latino man, they're more perverted to me. They're more.
She uses words wrong. But that aside, why is she saying perverted like it's a good thing? Here we have something. Why are you all capping? Let's examine this. Black American males do worship Latinos as gods. Yeah, because if I ever met God, I'd ask him to suck my penis. No, it's not a matter of worshiping as gods. Or even goddesses. It's a matter of wanting cooperative, attractive women to serve you. You see, you serve God and goddesses. We want service from them. It's a difference. But the fact that you said males. Oh, thank you, latinas. Thank you. You said males means that you actually are feminists. You're a feminist. Only y'all talk like that. And everything you say is wrong as a result. The capitaler your letters, the stupider you are. All right.
or they're more, oh mommy, oh my god, oh my god, mommy.
Look at that ass, look at that ass, look at those
They're very
tits.
sexual. They're very open. They don't mind saying what the fuck is.
That is very weird. That is very weird. That when the Latinos are describing the virtues of black men, is something completely different. It really shows where the priorities are. Because the Latina woman seems like she's looking for long term. She's looking for somebody who, with values, loves his mother, loves, this, and this. The black woman is looking for to have her lust fulfilled. Now, by the way, she don't actually believe this. She don't. Latino is one of those groups of people to where, just like Asian, when you hear the word Latin porn, if you were to go to Pornhub right now and type in Latin porn, videos of men will not come up. Like, it would be something else with Latin women. They are not reputedly sexual. You are the only one who is sexualizing them. Black men are sexual. We are reputedly sexual. But you see, damn it, my foot's asleep. Ah, damn it. Hold on. Stretch it out. Rid of that tingly feeling. All right. Give me a second. And here's why she does this. And I'm going to rewind it so y'all can really feel what I'm talking about. I want y'all to feel this. I want y'all to feel it. I want y'all to feel what I'm talking about. There is a desire amongst black women to humble black men. I repeat, black women, unlike any other woman on the planet, black American women from the US, they have a strong desire to humble black American men. They want to take the ego down. They want to just reduce the ego completely. That's what they want to do. That is their goal in life. So, when she hears a Latina woman compliment black men, she has to take the ego down. She basically came with, yeah, but the Latin men got bigger dicks. Like, I got to take them down a peg or two. Because I like them 2 pegs down. Watch what happens. I'm not making this up. Gonna see the Latin woman says what she likes about black men, and then she's going to try to take it down a peg.
Their mom and their family is different than Latino man. Latino men don't give a fuck about what they fucking do to you. And if you find out that if they have a side bitch or whatever, I believe the black man that I've dated, they're more respectful. Their wife is their wife. Untouchable. You understand? So for me, it's something different. I love black men, so
Hold on, your pause it. Hold on for 1 second. That goes back to what me and just Guapo just said. Her experience with the black man is this amazing. I'm not discrediting our black men. I love you.
See, there you go. Here you go with the here. Okay, so you've seen the compliment. Now it's like, oh, let me take the ego down a shade or two.
Yeah, I love y'all brown skin too. I love your dark skin. I love the milk chocolate, the vanilla chocolate. I love it all.
No. Come on, we filming. It's common courtesy. I'm sorry.
It just goes back to what Wapo and I said. Her experience. I'm not going to belittle our black men. I love the milk chocolate, the dark chocolate, the brown chocolate, all the melanin. But if I have to think about what I think when I see a black man off the rip isn't always the most positive. Mm-hmm. So your experience with a black man is a great one. Yeah. Your experience with the Latino man is a different one. If I have to interject and say my experience with a Latino man, they're more perverted to me. They're more, oh mommy, oh my God, oh my God, mommy. Look at that, look at that. They're very sexual, they're very open, they don't mind saying what the fuck is on their mind. They don't care. They want to lick your pussy in the street and they don't care. They're like, mommy, oh my God, look your shit.
You know what it is though?
Black men are not like that.
Being a black dude
men
though,
are not like that.
like in this, like it's crazy because
black men are not like that. So at the same time, and this is her programming, at the same time she's trying to deflate your ego, she's still speaking of sexual acts that's there's a one-sided physical benefit. She's trying to say Latino men are better because they'll lick my pussy in the street. So black men, if you want to be a good black man, you should lick my pussy in the street. Now, I have done that, but that's not my thing. It is a rare occasion you find me do stuff like that. It is. That being said, I don't even know how that would work in the street. And that's because I'm a selfish lover. I'll be the first to admit that. And maybe you, not so selfish lovers, can explain to me, how does that work in the streets? White people saying, wait, huh? Why is that difficult to understand? Yes, I don't like going down. I avoid doing it. I avoid doing it as much as possible. Anyway, how does it even work on the streets? Because you would have to, like, she would have to, like, squat a little bit unless you're on your knees with your head back and she's still somehow with her, like, dress above you standing on top of, like, so does she sit down like at a bus stop or something? How does that work on the street? That's weird.
You know, like being a black man or a black woman, like we are so blessed because without us, the world would have no soul. You feel me? And it feels like the world will have, you know, our music, how we dress, our food. Like we are the source of a lot of trends. So it's like when a black woman sees a black man, she used to all of that. You know, she used to him, you know, having being in.
So she's used to him having.
She
has just as much flavor.
Look, a black man's strengths to a black woman is normal. Him having rhythm, him being like her, him being cool with his mother, him being well endowed. So to her, that's normal. But to a Spanish woman, let's face it, having somebody who's tall, being well endowed, loving his mother, you know, loving his grandmother, his whole swag is different. How he dresses. To her, we're different. And she don't care about, you know how, you know, in the shade room is always black men this, black men that. But to a mommy, she's not into that about black men cheat or black men. To her, you brand new. Mm-hmm. And to a black woman, it comes from her father and the men she's been around, her uncles, and seeing no good black men. So her mind to a black man is like another, oh, he ain't shit. But to a mommy, she's not thinking that far. She's like, yo, that cute black nigga is fine. So now back to the money. At one point, you couldn't date, you know, Spanish girls. Their mother was very, very hard on it. But the one thing about Spanish mothers, if you get money, they will let their Spanish daughter date your ass.
I don't know. he obviously has a different what the hell is he? What the hell is that? Hey, people, is he Indian? Like, what is that? Oh, he's Sri Lankan. Okay. All right, makes sense. Lost my train of thought. Oh, the money. The money. It's not really about money. It's really more about being a decent person. And by a decent person, I mean non-nigga. I mean, like being a non-nigga person. That's all they really looking for, like the money they just because they're not like looking for money when and this is the only time a mother really has control over who her daughter dates. And it's really the father in communities where the fathers exist. But um it's really just, is he a decent person? And this isn't necessarily a nigga thing, but is he the type of person that's focused on a task? You know, um, do he help old ladies across the streets, or is he somebody that just, sits at home musty playing video games? Like they have the same criteria of black men that they have of their own men. Money isn't the factor.
And get pregnant and move in and all that. Everything.
Sorry.
I don't know. I think it goes back to culture and like society. Because I mean, like you think about it, and like the first, like Tyra Banks was the first Sports Illustrated model, and like that's early 2000s. So it's like if that's quote unquote the standard, and like it's just hard to.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't know that that's true. Because as I understand it, Sports Illustrated had swimsuit edition, which I never got into. Um and by got into, I'm talking about jacked off to when I was a kid. Like my father didn't subscribe to it, so I didn't get it. And it was just really just like white girls in swimsuits. If I had to think back in the day, my biggest white girl crush was Kelly Bundy. Oh, and then later Topanga from Boy Meets World. Oh, damn. Topanga. Topanga could get it. But I could have swore that Sports Illustrated was out way before Tyra Banks was even like the swimsuit edition was out way when Tyra Banks was like a little girl or some crap like that. I doubt she was the first Sports Illustrated model. So I don't know where this dude is coming from.
To like kind of break out of that. And so we go from like all these white women, and all in our society. And then, you switch and then, okay, Spanish women, they're kind of like white women. And then it's just like, okay, now black women. All right, white woman, white woman, white. It just.
Okay, she was the first black one. Okay, that makes sense.
Light skinned black woman.
Even when a girl
Yeah,
has a
light
white
skin,
guy,
light
even
skin,
when
black
a black.
Okay, and there you have it. So he's saying something I don't think is true. I think that people really, okay, they overestimate the amount of brainwashing society does on black men, and they underestimate the amount of brainwashing society is doing on black women. I think that that's the problem here. Listen, you can't wash my brain enough to think that something is unattractive that's attractive and vice versa. You could try, and maybe it would work, but I would have to be it would have to be like severe. It would have to be like waterboarding involved, and I would have to be like strapped, like strap my arms and my legs is strapped down on a circle, and they spin it around, and then there's a bunch of light and flashing on my face, and then there's some guys with lab coats, like, which one is pretty, Kelly Stamps or Gabrielle Sidibe? And I say Kelly Stamps, and then they spin me again, and they continue this process for about 8 months, and then I just come out like a completely different game changer. Like, it would have to be something crazy like that. Like, I'm not saying I can't be brainwashed, but it would have to take like some severe scrubbing. It would have to take some severe brain scrubbing to brainwash me into some of the crap that's going on. So miss me with this whole, oh, society is teaching. No, I know society hasn't taught my penis shit. I know what I want. I know exactly what I want. And it has nothing to do with society. If I feel that a Latin woman is more attractive, and the collective of Latin women are more attractive, then they are. And they are not because somebody has taught me that. They are simply because they are. Like, nobody had to teach me that East Oakland girls was hotter than West Oakland ones. They don't. This is just something you just innately know. If you are standing facing north and your penis is pointing to the east, that's because that's where the more attractive women are. That is how that works. It's natural. It's like a barometer. It's like a compass, but with no magnetic north. Like, it just knows where to go. Like, if you have a map of the world and you point your dick at it, it'll just hover over South America because that's where it wants to be. It just like slightly veer towards South America because that's where it wants to be. And if it was a white penis, it'll veer towards like the Slavic region of Central Asia or Europe. It'll just go where they want to be.
Even hold on. Even when black men date, the whole thing when Chris Brown got beat up for the whole comment of I like my girls with good hair, and and the black women attacked him and said, well, most of the girls with these good curly black hair grades are light skinned.
Yeah.
So
So fucking what? So is Chris Brown. So is Chris Brown. What kind of crap is that? What gives you the audacity to beat somebody up, especially a light-skinned dude, for what he likes? She's hiding her gut. I don't know what's down there, but she's hiding it.
like he said, if Tyra Banks is the standard of this slim, perfect face, nose, and because she's the top model, then how do I go from that, watching it on TV, aspiring to have a woman like that in my house, and then I go to the streets of Manhattan, and that's not the typical black woman walking down the street. So now I have to find something associated closely to it, a white woman who understands a black man.
Exactly.
So now you don't take the white woman because
What in the hell is she talking about? How did you go from Tyra Banks? Once again, I'm watching it with y'all. I said I was gonna watch this, looked it up, and I was like, okay, let me watch Women Peoples. Hit the like button. How did you go from Tyra Banks to a white woman that understands black women? Why don't y'all just be as close to Tyra Banks as physically possible and understand us? And you want to know how you become to yeah, I see some protrusion there. And you want to know how to understand us? By asking me what I want and give me it. Rigorously. And no, I'm not going to eat your pussy on the streets. You ask me what I want and you give me it.
you're like, damn, society's gonna beat me up, so I'm gonna go get me a fair-skinned black woman.
That's almost true. And no, that is kind of true. But I'm gonna say this though, like besides the all the superficial things, they in the Spanish women for a black.
Okay, and another thing about not necessarily light-skinned people, but mulattoes. The thing about mulattoes, and this is probably why so many brothers find them attractive, is because they are almost always, maybe this new generation to be different, but they are almost always the spawn of a submissive woman and a dominant man. Mulattoes are almost either way. Either way, and I'm gonna explain that in a moment. But they're either the daughters of a black man who is just sick of the attitude and sick of this crap, so he went out and found himself a submissive white woman, or they're the spawn of a swirler who is just pissed off at black men and they became ultra submissive to the white man in order to spite the black man. Like Crystal and Karazin. Crystal and Karazin, she even though she had liposuction, she maintained this submissive demeanor and appearance that would rub off on her daughter, on her mulatto daughter. So they almost always are the spawn of a submissive mother. And that is what men want. We want the daughters of submissive women. We do. And apparently, there's a higher concentration of that in the mulatto population. So our dicks start to point in that direction.
Black guy with a Spanish girl, the food is different. Her whole vibe is different. And like we're all creatures of wanting to like try new things and be a part of like new experiences. And being with a Spanish girl, to me, it feels different. Like your food is totally different than what I eat. The house looks different. The way you dress is different. How you smell is different. Like your hair is different. Now it's not better than a black woman's, but it's different. And people like to like have change.
It's better. It's better. Even down to the hair, it's better. For a number of reasons. The primary reason being that black women buy Spanish women hair. So that alone makes it better. If you are buying that hair, it's because it is better. But the housekeeping, I notice, is better. And that, once again, comes from the upbringing. We used to, in the black community, raise our daughters that way, but we don't anymore because we see, y'all been slack in the past few generations. Y'all been slacking the past few generations. Like no front. Y'all been slacking on y'all womanhood.
You fall in love easier with a Spanish woman easier.
And this brings me to the super chat. The only one today, y'all slipping. But nevertheless, Theo Waff says, give me a Latina any day. Absolutely. And give me a cooperative black woman any day. Absolutely to that too. Absolutely to that too. See, as long as you meet the feminine criteria, Race is not a factor. I mean, it's a small factor in the sense that it affects your looks, but it's not the looks that we're attracted to primarily. The looks is just an indication of a suspected behavior type. For example, let's just say if you take all the women who are 9+s and you put a yellow ribbon in their hair, eventually men are going to start to associate the yellow ribbon with beautiful women, and we're going to be attracted to yellow ribbons as a precursor to something beautiful. Exactly. Ethiopian women are the baddest in the world to me, next to Eritrean women. Now, and that is one group that don't mess with black dudes, or their parents at least tell them not to mess with black dudes. And it's largely because of the nigga stuff. But it's also it is because of nigga stuff, but it's worse with them because, and this goes for a lot of Africans, they kind of grew up in a situation, the parents grew up in a situation where they only seen the nigga stuff. Like they grew up and they only seen, like Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society and crap like that. So they like, something. They kind of have like this awe, like TV don't really show many non-nigga blacks. So they just assume like, I would rather not deal with that. So yeah, I did have to drop an Ethiopian girl off down the street from where she lives. So the parents didn't see me in the car with her. I did have to do that. Now, even when that's the case, and this is also true for Punjabis. I do that with Punjabis. So even when that's the case, all you have to do is assure the parents that you're not a nigga, and they would be okay.
And then you would with a black woman?
I mean, my answer to that, I'm gonna give you a real
Yes
answer.
or no?
I'm gonna give you a real answer. It don't matter her background as far as my love. But I tell you, me being a black man, being with something different, I may be more infatuated with a Spanish girl more than the black girl. Not because she's better than the black girl, but she's just different, Because my mother was black and my grandmother was black, so I seen all the food. I'm used to it. So getting some new beans and rice, a new chicken, a new woman that was raised differently than what I was raised different. Remember, a Spanish woman, they're raised to be a wife.
This is
Why
true.
isn't a black woman raised that way?
Most black women are raised to be independent. Remember, let's be real.
Why she acting surprised?
Most black women are raised.
Y'all see that? Why she act surprised? Like she wasn't raised to be independent. Look at the look on her face.
To be a wife.
But why isn't a black woman raised that way?
Most black women are raised to be independent. Remember.
You see that? Y'all see that? Now, this is the point in life where a smart person would be like, oh, yeah, I was misraised. I wasn't raised the way I should be, and now I'm suffering from the consequences of it. This is the point where you realize that. And it's like, okay, I got to do something. And you don't want to you don't want to do stuff. It is a harsh realization. I get it. But it is reality and you got to deal with it. Just picture like the English, the Saxons, right? they were raised to be good Christians. They were raised to be farmers. Yeah, they have their soldiers, but their soldiers had like, a year training and stuff like that. And then you have the Vikings that just came out of Norway and stuff, and they're like, okay, these guys were raised to be fighters. Like from birth, they were raised to be fighters. Like if I'm going to compete with them, I'm going to have to think outside the box. Now that's a tough realization to deal with, but that is the reality. And it don't have to be the reality for your daughter. You have to raise your daughters to be a better bitch for me and my son. That is what you have to do. It is incumbent upon you to be the best bitch you can for me, and then raise your daughter to be better. It sucks that you're at a deficit, but you got to up your learning curve. You got to up it. Ray Arthur, greatly appreciate you, brother. Oh, and by the way, I know I got to go get my phone because I probably got some cash apps there. So I'm definitely going to read them before the show closes. Okay, it says Ray Arthur. Ray with an E. With an E. Cool. It says, I dated a Latina that gave me a lot more submission. Oh, absolutely. They give a lot more submission. A lot. I would even say, well, I'm not going to say it's to a fault, but it could be to a fault. Like with the wrong guy, it could be to a fault. And that's what black women, they say that they're not submissive because all guys are the wrong guys. But nevertheless, it says, even when she claimed to be a part of the girl power movement, then she separated herself from it after I corrected her. Absolutely. Why? Because a man comes first. And she understands that. She understands that, and most women, they're not all in the whole woman's liberation, feminism, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're not. They're not. They're like, I am woman, hear me roar. And then when a big dick walk into the room, they like, I am woman, mop the floor. They're not gonna take it so far as to kick a big dick out the house. They are not. They want penis in house. I know a white dude like that. He stayed in the apartment building I was staying in at the time. He had a girl and they the same nigga, country white boy. He asked if I knew anybody that could steal his truck for him. And I did, but I forget why they didn't do it. I did have some homies that do that for him. This was years ago, past the statute of limitation, but they didn't do it. But it was fucked up that he asked me that. But I can't get mad because I actually did know somebody that did stuff like that. Anyway, so this was that dude, and he had this white chick, and I was talking to her, and she was like, yeah, I wanted to do the hyphenated thing or, keep my last name, but he insisted that I take his last name, and, there we have it. I'll just take his last name. Now they broke up eventually, but she obviously was on some girl power stuff. But she's like, hey, I'm on some girl power stuff, but I'm also on some big ass country white boy stuff too. So there you have it. Right, like, hey, that trumps my whole girl powerness, Once they get a whiff, here, this is what I'm getting at, people. Hit the like button. Once they get a whiff of girl power interfering with their penile intake, then it got to go. It is out the door. The whole girl power, that is out the door once they see the penis about to leave. Black American women, they don't care. Why? Because they are more comfortable being single than any other group of women on the planet. I repeat, they are more comfortable being single than any other group of women on the planet. A Section 8 woman with kids, if she's black, she look at it as a win. If she is anything else, that is a loss. You are the lowest form of life. You're not even a cell. You're like a mitochondria. You're the thing inside of a cell. You are the lowest form of life. All right. Somebody said many black men have hyphenated names. I will kick my son out the fucking family over some crap like that.
But let's be
Wait,
real.
say that again?
Most black women are raised to be strong, tough, independent, and don't take no shit. Because the daddy wasn't shit. I raised you alone by myself. Be a strong black woman. So they come into the game with their guard up ready. Like, I ain't beat for your shit, nigga. I know what's going on. Now, a Spanish girl is raised to serve. Yeah. They be cooking for their father at a young age, washing the dishes, washing the table, mopping all Saturday morning. Let's face it, they're raised to serve. If one time I swear to God, I'm at a girl's house having dinner. I got out with my own plate, put it in the garbage, put it in the sink. Her mom spazzed on her in Spanish about da 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 da. Now, in the black woman's house, if I get up with my own plate, she gonna say, "That's a damn good nigga. He got his own shit. I like him, Shirley. He got his own."
His words are true. His words are true. I have no idea the way he uses them, because once again, 1 second it's like he's black, the other second, like right now, he's talking like he's a black person, but before he was talking like he's a Latin person. It's weird.
Shit. But Maria better get up and get that plate and get it washed and show him you are a wife. They raise their woman to be catering. Am I wrong or no?
Wait, so what was
She's
your dad?
Spanish though, so let's find out.
No,
Is that true?
But what was your dad? What was your dad?
My dad's black.
Your dad's black too?
Yeah. He just really
He's
young.
a light
I mean, I am Mr. a little something, but when the cops see me, I'm black. So we go.
I'm be honest. That dude there is weird as fuck to me. But and what I'm about to say is gonna sound racist, but the dark-skinned Indians, the male ones at least, it's just how can I explain this? It's just like a weird feeling, look about them that I can't quite. It's a little cringe. There's just something about it, like, dang, your hair just ain't right for your skin, and I just looking like, dang, these niggas just can't get right. It just look wrong. And I'm not calling the dude ugly or anything like that, or I'm not trying to shoot at him, but you look incorrect. Like Chili from TLC, back when she could have any man she wanted to. That's actual and factual. But yeah, like, that made sense to me. But I have to say, y'all creep me the fuck out. I'm sorry. It creeps me out. And I try to be like polite and not stare, like if I see you at Subway or something. But it is like just like a weird tight. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. All right.
I'm going about the top.
We gotta close it up with Lola. Go ahead, Lola.
How were you raised as a woman?
I was
serve or
raised
be...
to serve.
See?
To serve.
How do you feel towards black women, right? When we date your Spanish men?
I don't.
And he choose because I've seen it. I've dated a Spanish guy with a Dominican girl, the girlfriend. How the fuck you dating that morena? You are offended.
Nah, I was raised with blacks.
Okay.
So to me, it's not nothing new. You know, to me, I was raised in a black community. I was raised in the projects. So
let's say your culture.
So as a black man,
but your culture though. Let's talk about your culture.
My
Not you personally, but your culture as a Spanish culture. How do you think the majority of the Spanish women feel when they find?
All right. Here's the thing. Here's what she's doing right now. The chick on screen. She's trying to have something, and I don't want to call it for her spank bank, but she's trying to fill her bean bank, you know, her vibrator bank. She's going to masturbate to her answer later on, because what she gets off on is one-upping and trying to make Spanish women jealous. She feels like she has the inferior vagina. And she wants to make them feel that way too. So she's like, hey, how does it feel when black women date Spanish men? It's like, well, do they? Like, I mean, it's she's just looking to have her ego stroke so she could later flick her bean to it. That's what she's doing. Hit the like button.
Find out that their Spanish man is cheating on them, the black
Well,
woman.
they hate it. They hate it. It's a competition.
But
It's like if
Why
they
is it a competition?
let answer the question though.
Yeah, it's a competition because they feel like.
Why does she say why is it a competition when you talked about like the Spanish women and taking the black men, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Why is it a competition? Why do you feel that type of way? Like you just admitted that you feel that type of way. The hypothesis of, or excuse me, the hypocrisy of it.
It's something like, oh, you dating a morena, like fuck that bitch, da, 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 da. But then the morena is like, oh, fuck you, bitch, da, da, da. So it's like on it, you know, it's like something going on.
Do you see black men and Spanish men as equal? Like you don't care if he's black or Spanish, or do you have a preference?
No, I have a preference.
And what's your preference?
Black.
Now,
but reverse it.
Are you Puerto Rican, right? Are you Puerto Rican?
No,
Now,
I'm not trying to be racist.
No,
I'm not trying to be.
this is no judgment.
Let-
All
let-
right.
let's go.
Like,
No judgment.
hold on. Like in my perspective as a woman and how Spanish guys been with me and my relationships, it's trash. You understand? Like no luck. But how black men been with me, my past relationships, they've been good. I've been the bitch.
Is it because of the sex? Does sex have anything to do with it?
Nah, not really. It's not the sex. It's about, you know.
Do black men fuck you better than Spanish men?
That sounds like a personal.
Now he's trying to jack off to something. But I don't know what. Because it seems like a win-win for him because he's Spanish and he's black. Like if she say Spanish, she's going to go home and jack off to it. If she say black, he's going to go home and jack off to it. That was a weird question.
No. Let's be honest. This show is for. Do you think that black men please
when
you
you
more
have
sexually?
a connection with someone, it doesn't matter
It's just
what
like a yes or
race
no. It's a
Yes or no question,
It's
though.
a yes
A yes
or
or no
no
question.
question.
To be honest, come on, time ticking.
We gotta
No,
go.
But wait, before we
Yes or
end,
no?
now,
Gotta
Alec,
be
Alec,
real.
I
We
just
gotta
wanna,
go, we
I
gotta
just
go.
wanna, because I know the people are
We gotta
watching,
go.
the women are watching. They want me to ask this question. I know they do. I feel it.
Yeah,
in
But
their
ask
soul.
the question then, come on.
So as you are, the Spanish women are so susceptible to wanting to be with our black men, right? But you guys don't have that same energy. And I'm not saying my experience, because I'm cool with Spanish women, but y'all don't have the same energy towards black women. So I'm gonna ask the question of, do you think, not just you as personally, or within your culture, do you guys honestly feel like you as the Spanish culture are better than black women? Yes or no?
I mean, all right.
Don't
Let her answer the question, though.
Answer
Answer the question.
You know what it is?
Stop.
Like,
Let her talk. Let her talk.
For most, like to me personally, no. No, because I was raised with blacks.
But
Like I said,
Let her answer
but
the question, though, mama.
to other Spanish women, yeah. Not to me, because I was raised with black women. You understand?
Yeah.
I was raised like wearing the weird, like I have a weave on right now, you know, like
Yeah.
I was raised with Morenas Project, you know, gang or whatever. So I was raised like that.
Morenas mean brown women, by the way. But yeah, that. Wow. All right.
But in the community that I'm in and how they feel, you know.
Okay. So let me stop right there. All right, we'll start with
Good evening, fellas. Good afternoon. How y'all doing?
Nah, it's morning. It's morning for me.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yes.
On West Coast. But what's going on? Let me
Yeah, that too.
let me go with H&M first, because he came up first, and then we'll go to you, Mel. H&M, what's on your mind?
What's up, GameChanger?
Nothing much, brother.
And yes, I've seen that video at least about a year ago, and it's come to my understanding that, and I guess the reason is, excuse me, I think the reason why so many of these black women are so independent and overbearing is because they came from a single parent household. Specifically, they're single mothers. Their single mothers taught them to be strong, independent. You don't need a man. And the daughter, is going to take that advice straight to heart. And since she didn't have a father around to, be the head of the household, she really ain't got nobody to look up to but her mom. Because, when these young girls watch their moms be strong, independent with no man telling them what to do, they're going to pick up on that attitude. Compare that to a two-parent household where you got a mom and a dad, the dad doing this thing, the mom doing this thing, and she's going to pick up on that and be like, okay, I got to find a man that's going to be, I'm not going to say the equivalent of her father, but at least be on par with what her father is, a strong masculine leader. And it's worthy of being the man of a household. That's what they need. But we don't get a lot of that in the black community. It's all about the single motherhood. It's all about raising kids by yourself. But you don't see that with other communities like the Latino community or the Puerto Rican community. And I've seen this firsthand because when I was in my college years, I knew a woman. She was like half black, half Puerto Rican. She had an African-American father and a Puerto Rican mother. And the Puerto Rican mother taught this young girl how to do things like cook, clean, take care of a household. So she had a more traditional mindset. I guess you could say combined with a more of a hood mindset. She was fun to be around, but she had a traditional mindset because she had a mom that was actually in the house teaching her how to do these things. So I guess outside of the black community, you got more stable households. You got more two-parent households teaching their daughters to be cooperative and be submissive to the right kind of men. But in the black community, it's like they don't want to cooperate. They don't want to be submissive. They want to associate submissiveness with slavery.
Exactly.
And that's where I tend to have the problem. You see, I look at it like this. Slavery is to be associated with dictatorship, but submission is to be associated with leadership. You see the difference there?
I do see the difference. Yes.
Think about this. You remember the Lion King?
Well, there is a such thing as a benevolent dictatorship too, because if you're working in a dictator can work in the interest of his people, and many do. I mean, we look at dictators as bad people because power corrupts, and we look at the worst of them. We look at the Neros of ancient Rome and stuff like that, the Caligulas, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there is the Augustus. There are the short-lived, but there are the Julius Caesar, the Marcus Aurelius, and stuff like that. You can be a decent dictator. I look at myself as such. I mean, I don't look at a relationship as a democracy. It is a dictatorship. I have the dick. You get me taters and shit. That's how it works. However, we would be
What?
working.
What the heck?
Yeah, yeah, like but we would be
You,
working towards a common goal.
you really changed the game changer.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Oh my God. I see why you get your name. You blew me with that one, but okay, I get it. But the average dictator is only out for himself. Even if he's leading a bunch of people, he's leading a bunch of people that on his level, that are just as bad as he is or how bad as she is, but they're only out for themselves. Leaders do what's best for not only for themselves but for the team. That's what separates a leader from a dictator. One leads by inspiration and encouragement. The other uses fear and intimidation. Mufasa was a leader. Scar was a dictator. That's the big difference right there. One led with inspiration. The other led with fear and intimidation. That's where I look at that.
Yeah, the word. Yeah, there is something implicitly bad about a dictatorship. I agree. The word itself really, it just means that like they both were dictators. It's just how they chose to dictate. Mufasa versus Scar, but nevertheless, it's how can I say? It's assumed that we would be bad leaders. Now, the tradition of feminine behavior is something that's passed down from mother to daughter in a chain. Once that chain is broken, it's very difficult to repair. Like a daughter teaches her mother to be feminine, and who in turn teaches the daughter, and that chain just keeps going until one woman says, "I don't have to do this," and then she just ignores the teachings of her mother, and and the daughter comes out as a result. They go down a completely different trajectory, and unfortunately for Black women, so many of y'all have went down that trajectory. Because I remember the days. I'm a child of the '80s, and I remember the days where grandma used to hot comb cousin's hair or your sister's hair and stuff like that. They used to take time to and care, and they would tell you if your skirt is too long for church and stuff like that. I remember these feminine traditions being passed down. That's how the house was. Like the boy, like I didn't work in the kitchen. My cousins did, and they even had to get me a sandwich and stuff, but I had to do all the lawn work and take out the trash. I'm not talking about take out the trash like just take it out back. Like we actually had to drive it to the city dump, and manually, like me and the boys, we would haul it out the back of a truck. That crap was nasty. So, it was very clear the roles, but they went from hot combing each other's hair, the mother-daughter tradition, to just throwing a weave in and then teaching their daughter to throw a wig on. Like,
I'm sorry, GC. That's so true.
it's in the Black community, the chain, the feminine traditions that should be passed down from mothers to daughters, they just stop passing them down. And now what we have left is something that's less desirable than the ones who did pass down the feminine traditions from mother to daughters. That's where we're at right now. And that's where they're at. And it's going to make their vaginas worth less than all other vaginas on the planet. Mel, Logic, your thought.
Hey, what's up? What's up? Yeah,
What's
I
up?
remember this video too, also too. But there's something I have to point out also too, and everything with the Latina in the video. Yeah, remember there's different types of Latina, and the one in the video right here, I grew up with this type of Latina in New York and stuff like that. Both of New Yorkers, we will probably actually know what type of Latina she is. You notice she was so kind of being so cautious with her words to try to actually tell the truth or why y'all Black men is choosing us
Mm-hmm.
when she's right next to the Black woman, because she wants to be, she's trying to see herself with the sister, being that they grew up around the same tracks, but the family dynamic is still different and stuff. Once both of them separate, once both of them separate and go home to their individual families, it's totally different and everything. But they grew up around each other so much, they hang around each other so much, they feel like they are one. It's like if you kind of notice in the that Latina in the video, she was like, um, but we are the same, blah blah blah, and everything. Doesn't matter what race the woman is. I'm like, you're right one part, but it's also different. Cultural wise, it's still different. Y'all make us y'all separate cultural wise, and with that type of Latina is like the reality truth is like yeah, black men gonna gravitate y'all more better because how y'all treat y'all men. I mean, look at when Cardi B was talking about she was going to divorce Offset, especially when she was hanging around Meg Thee Stallion. Then she changed her mind and everything and stuff. There's no, despite what he did, but he still changed her mind. Why? Because she was still raised under a cultural family dynamic, the mother, father in the house and stuff. And when she had to strain away to keep herself away from Meg Thee Stallion, it's like, despite what he did, whatever, that's still father my child. I still love that man. I understand his sexual nature. So you know what? We're gonna work things out and stuff. Unlike the black woman, they would have been having divorce separation parties already and stuff. I mean, I heard stories and how Cardi B, how she acts one way when she's at a Source Awards type BET Awards music show and everything, but when she's at her own like
The Latin, the whole Latin music awards. Yep.
Exactly. When she's at her own Spanish Latino awards ceremony, everything, she has totally different, totally opposite, non-ratchet and stuff. So you got some Latinas like that in the video. It's like depending on where they grew up at, especially they raised in major cities and stuff like that. Now, if you got a suburban Latina and everything, she gonna black out tell the truth. She don't even care who she hurts because the truth is the truth reality. She stand by what she is because she knows she's not ashamed that what, yeah, I was raised to respect my man because you know what, I'm either gonna attract the good man behind that and everything, or I know where to go get him at and everything. You can't be mad at me, like like that's how I was raised, but. I think that's like the city Latina right there, like and everything too. Like I wouldn't be surprised they actually are from New York also too, because I get that New York vibe from her and stuff.
Well, at that point, in my opinion, it's up to the men to nip that in the bud because what's going on with women like this, who obviously like black men, excuse me, because she stated that they think, and this is also how I perceive Austin's girl because they do this. Asian women in that region do this a lot too. They assume that we like that crap, and they're
Talking about
confusing.
the mushing in the face
Yeah,
video.
stuff like they assume and just a lot of the things that she does, the her behavior.
Oh
They
yeah, you
assume,
just be right on that. Like I'm saying, Austin has to, and men have to nip that in the bud. Like I'm not into that. But if he's playing around, just like you saying and everything, she gonna think that's cool and normal. Like
yeah. Black men, we need to express like, listen, I know you see our women behave in a certain way, and you're under the impression that we like a certain type of assertiveness in women. But the truth of the matter is, I'm with you because I don't. So just to be clear, when I am in Asia, it's because I want an Asian woman, not whatever the fuck you're pretending to be because you think it turns me on. So, and when I'm with a Latin woman, it's because I want to be with a Latin woman, not whatever the fuck it is you think turns me on. I'm here to escape that type of behavior, not embrace it. Who's that with the background? That's you, Turf.
Sorry,
Yeah, no worries.
squeaking around over here. But
No, could you
GC,
mute
I
up?
ain't been here in a minute, man.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna come to you in a
Yeah,
second. Let me just finish
I'm
this.
going
Yeah.
mute.
All right. Thanks. Let's see. Somebody says Austin is living it up with the Thai. No. I'm not like down in his situation or anything like that. He's definitely in a situation in most brothers I know of that's far superior to most brothers that I know of. I'm just saying, like, be clear if you don't like it to your mate. Be clear that I know it appears as if black men like this type of behavior, but if we did, we would be with a black woman right now, wouldn't we? So just to make it clear, don't mush me in the fucking face ever again in your life. I understand you watch enough TV okay, notice that's what they do. That's what Filipino women do. And that's even what Spanish women do. I actually had a Spanish woman who was, I'm not gonna say she was fresh off the border, but this was her first generation here, and I was the first black guy that she ever messed with. She actually started listening to R&B just to see, like, just to get familiar with the culture before dating me. She told me that she did this. And Asian women do that too. And some of them, they even watch porn just to try to figure out what you like. They really want to please. And in doing so, it comes with trying to anticipate your desire. And they're wrong. And you have to say, like, speak to them with the understanding that it is you trying to please me. This is how you do it. Don't listen to what TV says. Listen to me. And they will. And they will. So I want brothers to go with that approach more often. You know, because we're not used to being in a position to where the woman is trying to please them. We are used to being in a position where a woman is complimenting you for eating their pussy on the street. Like, you know, that's the type of crap we're used to. We're not used to somebody saying what type of salad dressing you want. We're not. So be prepared when it happens. All right, so Turf, what's on your mind, brother?
Good morning or good afternoon, gentlemen. This was funny because I usually catch your stream and I don't normally chime in, but I thought this was hilarious. I am from New York. I've dated women in New York. My suggestion to folks who are not in New York: do not date women from the Northeast. You got a better chance of trying to get a girl somewhere else that's a bit more feminine, because these chicks are masculine as hell. All right, so. For my fellas who's still up there, and I do have relatives, I do have friends still up there, good luck to y'all. I don't know what the hell y'all doing.
Okay.
First of all, I think we need to, as black men, you know, that the young lady in that video was assessing the question, do you think, she was asking the Latino lady, do you think y'all are better than black women? And the young lady had to kind of walk that whole gynecological, gynocracy, line to not offend that woman. And the truth be told, the answer is they do, and with good reason.
Mm-hmm.
And
well,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's more important what the men think.
It's true.
We are the judges in the competition.
It's true. That's very true. But in order for anybody to improve themselves, they need to know where they're failing at, right? They need to understand that they are failing, and then understand where they're failing at and why that is. And of course, our women don't necessarily do that. But that statement she couldn't answer her truthfully. And, if she answered it truthfully, she'd go into the whole racism thing and blah, 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 this and that, the third. Racism is not an excuse for how black women treat black men anymore. We can say slavery all we want. It's not an excuse anymore. Your outcomes prove that it is not the proper way of doing things, yet you still go headfirst in doing it. That's called stupidity.
Yeah, I agree. And the fact that they're looking for a reason or an excuse to treat a person this way really just shows that they enjoy treating them this way.
Exactly.
Like the whites during slavery, they looked to the Bible for justifications of their treatment of their slaves.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, okay, you obviously want to do this. You want to be this way. You see the financial gain from this particular master slave dynamic, and you don't want to see it change. So you're going to look hard for a justification, and you'll find one, no matter how ridiculous it is. So yeah, they're out looking for justifications to be this way, and that's because they enjoy being this way.
They enjoy it. They enjoy it, but they don't really reap any benefits from it, which is the sad part.
Well, yeah, the only benefit I could think is that the burden of femininity is lifted. However, the rewards of femininity is lifted as well.
Exactly, right.
And
so therefore they're fucked. Yeah. And
yeah, exactly.
The other, so a normal human being would assess their own failures and say, hey, how could I have done better? What do I need to do to improve my situation now?
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see women of other cultures literally researching, learning, and trying to figure out how to best make a black man happy so they can land one. Now, granted, they want stuff too. I'm not saying it, they're just doing it out of the kindness of their heart, but at least they're going about it properly. They have enough respect to, hey, I need this or I want this from this guy, and I need to do this, that, and the third to get it. On the other hand, our ladies seem to not want to invest any time to learn anything about black men, or I don't even want to say respect on any level because we know it's not there, but just, hey, all right, in order to land this dude, let me try this, that, and the third. I could beat out 80% of my competition if I just incorporated 33% of femininity into my game. But they don't even see it that way. They see that as them basically poisoning themselves if they even go down that path. Oh no, I can't do that. Why would I do that? He don't deserve that. I can't do that. That's too much. It's really, really weird. In my own opinion, I say, hey, I can't help a loser from losing, especially if they're intent on losing. So I say let them go ahead and lose. I don't feel any pity for them when they get old and they're by themselves or they're single mothers and bad shit happens because they don't have a man. I don't feel any pity for them. And I'm including my own relatives in that gambit.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them myself, I'm like, I don't feel sorry for you. Look where you at. You here because, they'll blame men like all women do. It's his fault. I was like, these are the dudes you liked. What do you mean? You had a baby not married. What do you mean? Whose fault was that? And guys, please stop falling for this whole, it takes two to make a baby. Listen, you are not responsible for the woman's body. She's responsible for her own body. Pregnancy is not easy. I know we like to think it is. It is not an easy thing to accomplish. A woman can only get pregnant 3 to 5 days a month. To hell with all the, the condoms and the stuff to prevent pregnancy. If she just didn't have sex for a week every month, she would never have a baby. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, true.
I know we like to, they'll say it, make it seem like it's so you can get a girl pregnant just by touching her. That ain't true. It's hard to get pregnant. And the fact that all of these broads who single mothers paint it like it's an accidental pregnant, you cannot accidentally get pregnant if you know the slim chance and the time of when you can get pregnant.
Yeah, like all these women are claiming that, the baby was born because they're the ones that just seep through the pores in the sperm or in the condom and stuff. Like that happened way too often. It's like 97.3 or 99.7, and all these 0.3% babies are just popping out like all the time. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, here's a defense, fellas. When you get a lady that says, well, they always ask, well, did you bring a condom? You can ask a girl if she brought a condom. They have feminine condoms, by the way. A lot of people don't know that.
Well, I don't care. I just bring my own. I just bring my own, or I don't hit it.
No.
What I don't trust the woman's condom.
What I'm saying when they state that they're putting the responsibility on men, when it's their body, it should actually be their responsibility. So I always
would say is you shouldn't even care if you bring your own condoms. If she asked that and you already bring your own condom, then hey, I don't even care. All I know is protecting myself and my seed. If I know I don't want to make a baby with this woman, I'm gonna bring my own protection and stuff. That's
true.
It.
Yeah, and it's
in
not
some
about
cases, like I
said, I'm not saying for men not to protect themselves. What I'm saying is when they try to cop the guilt trip on men.
I get it. You're talking about accountability after the fact.
Right.
And I get that. But beforehand, I always bring it. I used to so they don't do this now, but Magnums used to make where it was an air bubble in it to where you could tell if somebody put a needle on it, like you could squeeze it and it was like a pocket of air. So if it was penetrated. But now they just use more like that foil wrap type stuff. So I don't, I don't trust theirs. I did trust it if they brought it and they had the bubble in it, but I don't trust it now. So I just bring my own all the time. Yeah.
So
But
I'm married now. So
It's probably best to bring your own condom anyway, because if she got her own condom, don't tell her what she did with it. She probably put
yeah,
holes
exactly.
in that
yeah,
thing trying to
I'll
get
tell you what I
pregnant.
told my
Exactly. That's
son.
what I'm saying. Once they
Yeah,
stop doing the bubble thing or
yeah.
the air pocket thing, I don't trust their thing anymore.
I'll tell you what I
But
tell my sons. I tell them, I was like, you still need to have your pull-out game. Back in the day, I still pulled out with hats on. So that was plan B, and then plan C. If anything, if plan A and plan B failed, there was always plan C, which was the pill. So
I well, I do that too, but not for that reason. I do that because I want to do it like porno. I want to finish like on them and stuff.
I
Honestly,
hear you.
that's why I do that. I don't do it.
I hear you.
I trust the condom, but yeah. But all right, let's do final thoughts. Let's do 30-second final thoughts, so I could go over to Bernard's and see what he's talking about over there. He's talking about Andrew Tate. So H&M.
I'm about to break out anyway. Thanks for having me on, Game Changer. All right.
All right,
Take
thanks
care.
for coming up,
Take
man.
care.
All right, peace. H&M.
Oh, my final thoughts. I really didn't have a lot to say as far as final thoughts are concerned, but one thing I can say is that I think black women just need to get better. They need to stop blaming men for their bad decisions. Because like we said with the whole pregnancy thing, remember, women control access to sex. So if they get pregnant, it's not just her fault, but it's his fault as well. It's the woman's fault because she opened her legs to that dude, but at the same time, it's the man's fault because he should have had the common decency to protect himself in the event that he either get her pregnant or worse, they both catch something. So yeah, women should take accountability for their own actions instead of just trying to blame somebody else, specifically other men. And yes, I believe women who come from single parent households, they need to understand what a male leader is and stop just relying on advice from their single mothers or their girlfriends, because those kind of people are just going to keep them single for the rest of their lives, if not for most of their lives. So we all got to get better. Men got work to do, women got work to do. That's my final thoughts. Thanks for having me.
My bad, H&M. I stepped away for a second. I went to go get my phone. But no, I got the gist of what you were saying. And yeah, and we also be careful with that too, because we talk
Be
about
careful with what?
the single parent household thing. Like, okay, so a lot of women, they come from 2-parent households and they use that as you see, I'm safe, I'm okay because I came from a 2-parent household, but so did Dwayne Wade's kids. Like, so did
Was that really 2-parent though? Come on now.
well,
Dwayne
okay.
Wade's kids, that wasn't really 2-parent.
I mean, but I mean, how many of y'all really want to mess with what's her name? Willow Smith. Like, come
No.
on. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, that's 2-parent. Like some chicks say the 2-parent thing, but it's like, yeah, but what were the 2 parents like?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
if the father wasn't, don't get me wrong. If listen,
Okay, let me say this.
when you
We're not talking.
right quick. When I was a kid, the best chicks were the ones where I was scared to death of the father. It's
What?
like the father's got to be like a non-simpish, man, and they tend to have
Okay.
the best daughters.
Do you mean scared of the father because he's abusive, or scared of the father because he's strict as hell, doesn't tolerate nonsense? If it's the latter, that's a bit more understandable. Now, which one is it?
It is the latter. But in addition to that, the father that looked like he would whip my 16-year-old ass,
Okay, I've seen that before. That makes a bit more sense to say.
Yeah. Kind of like
Because
that scene on Bad Boys where Will and Martin and dude was taking the girl to prom. That's a classic one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because at least that girl understands male leadership and submission from her father. She don't want to do anything or say anything to upset or disappoint her father, because she know there are consequences for that kind of behavior. So that does kind of make sense to feel that way.
Exactly. So yeah. All right. So turf.
Yeah, just my final thought on some things is I think when we have these conversations, we need to talk about the outcomes. And when we talk about who's failing, we need to talk about the outcomes and what's being accomplished and what is being worked on and what has been worked on to determine, where the actual problems are. We like to kind of, when we talk about black men and black women, I have been in conversations with women where they kind of they want to throw everybody in there together as if we all need to work on this one problem our community's having, where it's really for the most part on one side where the major problems are in our community currently. And one side is making more progression than the other. One side is not even attempting to make progression. So I think we need to take some of those things in light in those discussions and take that into context and understand when we're communicating this, it needs to be made clear on why what is happening and not play this, semantic game of we all need to do work. There's some of us that need to do more work than the rest of us.
Agreed.
I think that needs to be made clear. I'll also leave with this because I'm old. Well, GC, I think we're about the same age anyway because I'm an '80s kid too.
Okay.
But
same here.
Okay, so we all the same age. So I'm gonna go with this. I do not agree with if a woman gets pregnant, both the man and the woman are equally responsible.
Why?
Because the man doesn't have control of her body, and if she is a willing, functional adult who's responsible for herself, you can't put that responsibility on somebody else. If you do that, you would have to take away her sovereignty as a functioning adult, and basically the only classification after that is a child.
All right.
We know they don't want to be treated like children. So
okay, I understand what you're saying.
That's a whole separate topic. Now I will say this. The good news is I'm going to cover that topic, but it's not going to be labeled that. I'm gonna cover the topic from the point of view of there's a lot of chest beaters in this space. So I'm just put it out there. There's a lot of dudes who come to these spaces trying to chest beat, and I'm that dude in this, and this. So I'm gonna start calling that out. Look for that, something like that in the title, and it will cover that conversation that happened on the cruise season. And then I'll put the link out there. So be there for that. But that's coming up. My next video, and I have to do this, it's gonna be about why I lie to women. Why I lie to women, and why I think that they should. So that's gonna be tomorrow morning, 6:15 PST, 9:15 Eastern. So keep an eye out for that. My last video was on cruise season because I'm so check that out if you haven't already. And if you have and you forgot to hit that like button, and go back and do that. All right. So but thanks for your final thoughts, fellas.
Can I say one more thing real quick before you go?
Yeah.
Yes. Now he was saying that the man shouldn't be held accountable if the woman gets pregnant.
Nah. That's a whole nother. That's not one more thing. That's a discussion.
Come on, man. Can I get the fine? I'll say it for your next show, okay?
Yeah. Not the next show, but the one after the next show.
Well, yeah, I'll subscribe to you, so I'll get both notifications. So
okay, perfect. All right, look forward to it, brother.
All right, take care.
All right, you too. All right, and with that, I'd like to thank the Cash Apps and Super Chats, managers and moderators, those who are listening silently, and those who participate in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button before you go. I'm about to head over to Bernard Riley's show, which the link is right here. And I look forward to seeing y'all there. All right, this is GameChanger 00100. Game over. Peace.